All right, so we're going to go over section 105, General Combat Leadership Fundamentals. And now I just lost it. Hold on.
Oh, nice. Is this the whole?
Yeah, that's the whole book.
Okay, let me download that real quick.
So I think it has like the first section, which has all just like the PQS actually in there, that stuff that needs to get signed off. That's usually what I like base the majority of like looking through off of, and what I've been like trying to study at least.
Gotcha.
And just going off of those and just explaining like pretty much like what they are like alluding to would be, I think, sufficient.
All right, 105. Got it. One sec here. Close. All right, here we go.
105.1, identify and explain the 9 common elements found in combat or in a combat environment.
Yeah, so this is oops, what did I just do? So yeah, violent, unnerving sights and sounds, casualties, confusion, lack of information, isolation, communication breakdown, individual discomfort, physical fatigue, fear, stress, mental fatigue, continuous operations and homesickness. So this is, especially as a corpsman, this is the stuff that we are, I guess, mindful of in combat zones. Depending on what your deployments are like, homesickness is pretty common across the board for even non-combat deployments. But then, I mean, just use your imagination. Obviously, all this stuff up here is, you know, just watch like Saving Private Ryan. You'll see instances of all of this stuff. So, let's see.
What are the
Characteristics that enable?
Is that supposed to be just focusing on like this, the op tempo?
Wait, say that again.
For the second to last one, as continuous operations, is that just like focusing on the fact that it's like a high op tempo?
Yeah, like so on deployment you don't get days off. You're 24/7. You know, you eat, sleep. You get like so for us at least, on my deployments, like you'd have downtime, but I wouldn't really consider it time off. You know.
Yeah.
You're always either, you know, your guys are going on post, whatever, watch it, you know, watch or duty standing you got, you know, when casualties come in, you're doing, so you're always kind of on call. And then the continuous operations parts are like, some of my seniors, when they were going, they would do 12-hour patrols every day, 7 days a week, that type of thing. So there's always something going on.
Okay. So then for 105.2, explain the characteristics that enable Marines and sailors to overcome fear.
Overcome fear, morale, discipline, and spirit to core. You hear that all the time. Marines love saying that. Fucking spirit to core. Proficiency and motivation. Again, kind of self-explanatory. Morale. You know, and kind of, I know it says overcome fear, but just like think about it as the best possible way to complete the mission. Or, you know, like even at a duty station, you have a shitty chain of command, the morale goes down, work production goes down, that type of thing. Discipline, you know, everything runs smoothly when, you know, you have your chain of command, and, you know, everyone has that discipline to do it, do what they're supposed to. Spirit to core, that one is just like Marines love saying it because it's things like love for the Marine Corps. But strong shared unit spirit, mutual solidarity and fellowship, sense of duty. Yeah. Proficiency, obviously, the better you are at your job, the smoother things go, and then motivation. Kind of everything. If everything else is, high morale, good discipline. Everything else is going good. You're gonna have good motivation. Next one, BAMSIS. Hear that people yelling that shit all the time too.
And then so for the next one, what is it? Yeah, discuss and explain the 6 loops or 6 troop leader. Wait, redo that. Discuss and explain the 6 troop leading steps. BAMSIS.
Yeah. So obviously, BAMSIS, begin planning, arrange recon, make recon, complete the plan, issue the order, supervise. So this is one, I don't really know how to describe it really, because like it's your 6 troop leading steps, right? So anything like coming up for some operation, let's take like a patrol, for example, or yeah, we'll just use like for example, patrol. So you're gonna begin the plan. So you map your route, what you like, what you think you're gonna need, rations, ammo, route, all the basics to make it successful. And then you arrange for recon. So like on a patrol, your recon can also be like intel maps or intel in general, like what the enemy's been doing the past week on the route that you're taking, stuff that's been going on. And then make reconnaissance, or sorry, arrange reconnaissance, more like getting with your intel guys, make reconnaissance, then going over the plans, what they know. So, or also like take like a direct action plan, like you're going to assault the trench, like old school side, or assaulting the trench. Arrange recon and make recon can also be like reconnaissance Marines going up there and getting the intel for what the enemy's doing down there, and then bring it back. And then you can complete the plan with all of the recon that you have. And then when you have basically everything all together, so that's like the upper echelons of like leadership, like your, whatever it is, say platoon sergeant, platoon commander, doing all that. And then they'll come down and issue the order. And they'll go over it with the squad, go over the plan. So basically everything's like clear and concise before they give it out to, the subordinates. And then obviously supervise the most important plan. Going everybody, supervising is the most important part of the plan. Like your squad goes out, and then your platoon commanders on the radio in the rear as like a supervisory role kind of thing.
So then 105.4. Explain the 6 articles of the Code of Conduct.
There's really no good way to explain this one. This is just like a hard memorization one.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Is the expectation that we just like straight up like memorize all of them, or can it be like more of a gist thing?
No, you gotta memorize them.
Okay.
These are like a word for word kind of thing, especially like if you see, I forget where else this is, but if you see things in like quotes like that, it's like a hard memorization thing. Yeah, there's no good way. I don't have like a, like a mnemonic type thing to help you out here. This is just something I memorized, Next, prisoner of war. Let's go through
105.5. Discuss and explain the rights of a prisoner of war.
Yeah, so I mean, like, prisoner well, per Geneva Convention, prisoners of war have certain rights, like basically humane treatment. Uh, yeah, I mean, you can kind of read through these. These are pretty self-explanatory too. Um, um,
So humane treatment of prisoners, respect for the person of respect the person or prisoners. What's that mean? Respect for the person or prisoners.
just like um, no inhumane treatment kind of
Okay.
thing, right? So you see, they're they're entitled to respect and honor. Women shall be treated in regards to their sex shall be and also be treated equal to men. So all these were kind of drafted up. Uh, what is it for the Geneva Convention? Obviously, you go back into history and you see and hear all the stories of the POWs taken by like other countries in different wars and stuff. Like one of the big ones was when Japan invaded Korea, and they basically rounded up all the women in Korea and made them sex slaves.
Okay.
So like instances like that. So like as a NATO country and NATO allies, they all fall under the Geneva Convention. There's like a just an agreement amongst the nations that all these will be followed in cases of prisoner of war.
Yeah.
See if anything really kind of stands out.
So for quarters, they're supposed to be in the same area as or housed in the same conditions as the forces.
Um, yeah, so like in a sense where um, like if you're in Siberia, you know the if we're in a heated building, we can't keep prisoners of war outside. You
Okay.
know, doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, we have to give them the just as nice mattresses or just as nice, you know, it's like in a general sense, like um can't keep them like exposure to extreme heat, extreme cold, to the elements, to like that sort of thing.
Okay. And hygiene, medical attention,
Yeah.
and then they're able to work.
Hmm? Oh, yeah. Um, that one is basically like what's it called? Why can't I think of the term where you have like labor camps and stuff like that. You mean uh, you can't like work them to death, basically.
Now, what's the difference between that and then having the specifics for the dangerous or humiliating labor? Or is one?
The humiliating labor, I think, is more reference to like a POW's culture.
Okay.
Like you can't put like Muslims in a like pork butchering
Oh, okay.
line, or and then unless the volunteer, no prisoner of war may participate in labor which is unhealthy or dangerous, like sending them into a coal mine with like without respiratory protections and things like that. So it's like whatever we have as far as mitigating dangers and like dangerous work, you have to provide that to them also.
And that looks like the last thing I'm saying is they have to have the Geneva Convention posted.
Yeah.
And for 105.6, discuss the obligations of a prisoner of war. So among the different classifications, the prisoner of war status is considered favored. With the favored status, there are certain obligations expressed within the Geneva Convention. The prisoner of war may in no circumstances renounce in part or entirety the rights secured to them by the Geneva Convention. So can't give up Geneva Convention, right?
And that kind of is like
Because you can't, it's like the Miranda rights where you can't, well, I guess not the same, but the same kind of concept where like, oh, you're supposed to have these set of rights and you have to have the option to go and say, I don't want to do them, but they probably say, just as a rule, we're not going to let anybody be
well
able
that and so to also mitigate, like if you go out to a POW and like a coercion type, like well,
forcing them
like
to say, like,
if you give up your rights, we'll give you
food.
something. Yeah, so they're we're not allowed to stuff like that.
Full civil capacity at time of captured. The detaining power may not restrict the exercise either with or without its own territory. Rights or capacity confess except in so far as capacity requires, prisoner of war must salute and show all officers of the detaining power the external marks of respect provided by the regulations applying to their own forces. What the heck does that mean? What is it? Can say a full civil capacity.
I'm not sure.
So I guess from that, the only thing I'm going to take is that they still have to show respect to other branches.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what that top part means in all honesty.
And I'm hoping just whoever is doing my board won't. Okay, cool.